All right, we've got a rebind here, show you some picture of and things. This one's a little bit different. I've only done a couple with tooled hubs. When usually they're raised hubs or tooled, and it's just a burnishing and then a indentation there. But he wanted just the Holy Bible on it. It was like new, just almost new, ESV, what this Bible is. And he wanted also, I've only done just a couple have I done where there is minimal yap. And I measured for 1/4 of an inch, and that's just as close as I get. And for some reason, it is the most nerve-wracking one that you'll see. There is not, if you're off a 32nd of an inch, it's just not going to be good. But, yeah. Tell you what, a lot of the refining processes, it may not seem like it, or it may seem strange, but the end papers, they are a booger. Getting the right ones. A lot of guys use really heavy end paper, and I did on a couple of my very first ones. But it just don't feel right to me that thing ought to, be so 110 pound and that kind of business. That's just me. I believe I only have a couple of papers I use regularly, and these are, at best 32 pound, but they're a parchment style, which it has to do with the way it's going to absorb glue or not. It's so slick that I actually have to score the backside to get it to take. I just ordered some end sheets. If there's one thing I've got a whole drawer full of is different things I've ordered for end sheets, but I ordered some from Hollanders. Try you can only get them in black, but for certain scenarios, I think they'll work out good. Well, now I've just gone to Gavin, so I probably better stop. That's a calf. I get a request for this. I just bought a whole nother. This one comes in a big old side. When you buy it by the square foot, of course, calf comes in, your average one's about 20 square foot, 17, 20 square foot. And your average goat is, a big one, 7 square foot. So, you sink a lot more money into getting a whole side of this. But get a lot of crust for dark brown. And so far, that's been the go-to. I have a lot more browns that have a little more red into them. They get more like a mahogany and I've just found out I get all my local leather locally at Panhandle Leather. And for the most part, like the other day, I told him I needed some forest green goat. He said, I'll get you some. It turns out when they order it, this is big business, this ain't me. When they order it, they have to order 1,000 square feet at a time. I said, well, don't do that. He said, no, I've got places, it'll be a little more, but got places where I can get smaller quantities, what have you. Anyways, now we just done gone to telling stories, ain't we? I figured out how to represent that right there as far as laying flat. Just started using this. He ordered me some lambskin, and it wasn't quite what I wanted. You can use it on the outside, but it's better served on the inside, and works out really well. If you're wondering why so particular, this is a hinge construction, tab construction. That indentation is actually this leather coming out. There's a notch, and that goes in there. You say, let me explain that a little better. Well, give me a minute since we're just visiting. I've got an example I keep in the shop. I finished this Bible all the way and then found a wee little hole. A little bitty tiny hole. I had to redo the whole thing, but I had already gotten to the place where I was ready to glue the text block in there. Of course, there's your ribs, raised ribs. Text block sits in there. Well, then you've got this part that's got a hinge. Tink, tink. If it's too bulky, it takes a while to break in. It's going to have some break in regardless, but that sheep is real flexible and thin. Just the best of both worlds. Well, that was your free story for the day. How about that? I tell you, that turned out just... Leather's got a lot of character in it. Good one. Good one right there.